be regulated under Dodd-Frank, and particularly the risk retention rules would apply to CLOs. This rule, what does it mean? It means that every CLO manager needs to put up capital in the CLO they issue. That capital is 5% of the capital structure, and you can do it by buying 5% of every tranche of the CLO liability side, or you can buy 51% of the equity. And if you think about it, that has a very dramatic effect on the CLO business, because it switches the CLO business from a capital light type of business to a very capital intensive business. So before risk retention rule, George and I and fund analysts can decide to issue a dozen CLOs doing the research and really having a growing business. After the risk retention rules, you need to have scale, you need to have size. So what did that do to the market? Well, three trends, really. One, it shrunk the issuance of CLOs and the number of CLO managers. Two, it made the loan asset class more volatile. And three, it reduced the spread on the liabilities, or the cost of liabilities for CLOs became lower. So let me talk about those trends one by one. I mean, it is logical that if the business becomes tougher, you have less CLO managers. And indeed, if you look at the peak, which was 2014, as you said, we had over 100 managers and 120 billion issuance of CLO. Those numbers declined every year since. So 2015, we had 95 billion of issuance, 2016, 75 billion, and this year, the predictions are between 50 and 75 billion issuance. So literally, the market will have shrunk by half between 14 and today. The managers who are left, there were 80 managers who issued last year. If you talk to banks, they think about 50 have a risk retention solution. The risk retention rule was put in place in December 2016, so you see those trends started way before. But there are only 50 managers that can issue or have a viable solution to address the rule today. What does that mean for the loan market? Well, less demand from CLOs logically means a tougher market for loans. CLOs are typically 62% of demand for new issue loans. So if you have less of them, you have less demand for loans. At best, you would expect a market that's more volatile. At worst, you would expect a market that really widens or decreases in price. And indeed, that's really what we have seen in the last 2 years or so. We've seen more peaks and valleys in the loan market prices and spreads than we've seen in the 3 years before. Today, the loan market is hot. It's, one could argue, overbought, but let's not forget that last year at the same time, in January, February, we hit a 5-year low in price. So I think we've seen the result of this decrease in demand. The market is also very gappy in loans, so either you have a loan that attracts CLO, there's no problem, no issue, trades at par. If it has an earnings miss or a negative headline, it can trade 20 points down until it finds a new set of buyers, being hedge funds or more value-oriented buyers. And then the last thing is, again, logically you would expect if there are less CLO being issued, and there's sort of a set amount of demand of CLO debt, particularly on the AAA side, because AAAs are an asset that banks, European, US, and Japanese banks really need to buy in a pretty programmatic fashion. Well, let's apply the same again in the last few years. So 2014, Canyon issued a CLO, the AAA was around 158. Today, the AAA level is at 120-ish, 122, 130. But I would say, because the CLO machine has been sort of stifled. It is, again, a market for the security become quite unruly. So you would expect much in spread or in price, but again, back in January, while your markets were behaving and not showing a lot of volatility, my markets were showing quite a bit. The AAA levels went from 150 to 200 basis. That is a lot of widening for that type of credit quality.
How many points is that in dollars?
I think that's 5 points or more. So the junior tranches, lower than capital structure, moved 25 points because they're levered. And that was actually an asset class that we bought in quantity for the hedge funds, so CLO mezz from other managers. Now, as far as Canyon is concerned, for those of you who were at our investor day 2 years ago, maybe you remember me on this podium or something like, look, just a second. Saying that we thought risk retention rules were an opportunity for Canyon to design a solution. And indeed, we went on the road to raise a fund, a CLO equity fund. We raised it in early 2015, early Q1, Q2 2015. And this was a brand new vehicle, right? We had to invent a lot of the plumbing. But the result is we're one of the survivors who have the equity at the ready for those moments where the loan asset class is very attractive. And that makes the CLO issuance all the more attractive and judicious in its timing.
I see. Thanks. And just 2 points you raised there that kind of seem contradictory with one another. You talked about how CLO issuance is shrinking on the one hand, but then on the other hand, you talk about how loan pricing is quite robust today. How do you reconcile a big buyer of loans shrinking in the market with loan prices being high?
So what happened is as the CLO buyer was shrinking, another buyer emerged in the form of retail money going into loan funds, mutual funds, and buying loan asset classes. And that's really picked up the slack and pushed prices up. I would caution though that again, just like you're seeing a change in holders in your market, the change in holders and buyers in the loan market has serious consequences in that retail money is very fickle. So right now, money is flowing into the loan asset class. But those funds tend to go in the same, all in the same direction, right? Money flows in and out of them at the same time, so they become forced buyers or willing buyers, but buyers nevertheless at the same time and sellers at the same time. So there are a lot less solid hands than CLO buyers that have a capital structure that's fixed for 10 years and also have a variety of mandates depending on their vintage, right? So a CLO that's ramping today has a very different profile of loans they want to buy from a CLO that's very mature and only has 2 years of the investment period. And these are typically much, much more solid holders of the asset class.
Okay. George, we can come back to you. Those of you who have been with Canyon for a while, or those of you that attended the earlier panel, will know that Canyon still has big exposure to the legacy RMBS market. And looking at your slide earlier, it's still a $600 billion market, which, to sort of level set that with some numbers behind it, the European high yield market is smaller than that. It's about 2/3 the size of that. So I know you and your team worked hard and delivered very good returns over the last several years in that market and will continue to be a focus. What else are you doing in mortgages?
So back to the point of legacy non-agency RMBS has been a focus for us for quite a long time to deliver really good returns. The peak size of our book was back in 2013, 2014. Currently we're sitting at about half the exposure. That's the peak. And for several reasons. One, the return prospects in a lot of the asset class of the clients in a place where people, mandates like us, doesn't make it particularly attractive to participate in. But we hit return targets on a big portion of the portfolio. What we half of that still believe can deliver, as we touched on earlier this morning, double-digit returns, very good risk-adjusted returns. Our other places we're participating is non-performing loan market. Again, we discussed that this morning. As far as opportunities going forward, I think the non-agency RMBS space selectively is still a $600 billion market on a CUSIP by CUSIP basis. Will continue to provide good opportunities for us, especially during periods of volatility. If you see something like, a substantial rate rise, a quick rate rise, or money outflowing from the money management mutual fund community. And on the NPL side, as importantly, the GSEs still hold about $110 billion of NPLs in their balance sheets. Additionally, you have big money center banks, JP Morgan, BofA, Wells Fargo, and the like, that are systematic, programmatic sellers of these assets. They're not in the business of owning non-performing loans, servicing non-performing loans, and as they accumulate portfolios of non-performing loans, they sell them in the open market. The nice thing about our position is that we're not an NPL-only fund, therefore we can afford to be patient, and that's how we've historically acquired the NPL assets that we own. During times of volatility, with a very concentrated holder base in NPLs. There's a few NPL-only funds out there that dominate most of the market, and then there's a few other guys like us being kind of in the middle, being able to take advantage of larger scale opportunities. Last February, we bought a $600 million portfolio from Fannie Mae in exactly that period of high volatility, with nobody else showing up on the auction, us bidding at levels that were 400 to 500 basis points wide to where loans were trading just previous to that. So that's another good source of opportunity for us in this environment. Additionally, if we get a slight softening in home prices or a soft patch in the economy, there's still $6 and change trillion of Ginnie Mae agency mortgages, GSE mortgages outstanding. Just 1% of those mortgages going delinquent is $60 billion. So indeed, the origination of NPL, so to speak, isn't complete and isn't a straight line declining number like you see in the non-agency space. So that's potentially a really attractive asset class. And again, the fragmentation of that market provides us a really good opportunity.
I know you talked earlier about how rates can also disrupt that market to our benefit as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The rates also introduce further areas like agency derivatives and things like that would be active.
Okay, great. So at this point, it's probably worth stopping and talking a little bit about the subject we can't avoid, which is our new president. And maybe I'll just ask the panelists to go down in order. Dominique, we'll have you start first with what changes you might expect from Trump's administration in your respective markets. And before you answer, I have been notified by compliance that we need to keep the answers apolitical. So just stick to
I'm just the 5.5 over here, right? CLO speaking then. Look, the Trump administration has been very vocal that they want to get rid of Dodd-Frank. And that would mean risk retention, doing away with the risk retention rule. And it seems to me that it would be a fairly easy measure to take, and that you decide that the manager no longer has to put capital on. And that presumably would bring a whole bunch of smaller managers to the market. Now, I would think there are at least two effects that we have to think about. One is smaller managers that have not been in the market for a couple of years will likely have trouble getting back into the market. One, because you have to re-educate your debt and equity investors, and that's always a very long process. Two, because those investors, for some of them, are interested in not only holding that security for the life of your deal, but also trading it. And the more CLOs you issue, the more liquid your tranches are. So that's an advantage for repeat issuers. And the second is whether or not the risk retention rule stays in the U.S., it will stay in Europe. It's been in place in Europe since 2011. It's not going to move. And there's a great advantage for managers to be able to attack all regions and to really try to find the lowest cost of funds for in the US. Yours truly has, with that CLO fund, the ability to do deals that are both European risk compliant and US risk compliant, so that I think we'll see those managers be in a better position to grow their business.
Great, thanks. George?
First I want to say that I don't think that all regulation can be rolled back immediately. That'll obviously take a long time to undo, and it's difficult to believe that all of it will be undone. But on the issuance side, getting rid of things like risk retention and qualifying versus non-qualifying mortgage, that will certainly add some tailwinds to the issuance front on the non-agency side. As far as the holder base is concerned, getting rid of CCAR and reducing capital charge ratios for legacy RMBS, that will certainly enable the dealer community, bank holding companies to get back into being significant holders. Maybe initially that adds a positive technical, but at some point might introduce more volatility in the market. It's difficult to say exactly what regulation what it morphs into going forward, but I think it's fair to say that the market's a little bit ahead of itself for jumping to the conclusion that we're going back to 2007. The other important point on the issuance side is that it will take a very robust housing market. Home prices have been up single digits the last couple of years, not a staggering number by any means, and they're not projected to increase a significant amount going forward, even 10-15%, the type of home price appreciation numbers we saw back in 2006, 2007, with kind of peak issuances. So, long way to go between here and then, but there could be some middle ground at some point.
Well, I would say that not only do we have to continue to read complicated financial statements, have proprietary models on securitization, but we have to start following Twitter now, and it doesn't. It's a new element to our responsibilities. But what we've seen is even when they create regulations to stabilize, it creates, when this change created, there's volatility somewhere. I think that that's going to continue. When they change to the other direction, as the pendulum swings, it seems that there's going to be areas of volatility. Presidents in the news all the time, and so many members of Congress are rallying against the CFPB specifically. That'll affect some of our companies. But the reality is, as we talked about in Canyon, we can't always predict or prepare. We have to prepare, and we're prepared for some changes and some volatility, and we think that'll create some interesting opportunities that we'll be able to look at as active investors.
Thanks, Jonathan. And in the vein of Jonathan's comments, I don't know if all of you know this, but Ingrid's beloved Canyon app does provide functionality to send messages to different parties or different members of the conference. And she has actually sent a message to me while I've been up on the panel that I need to justify my seat on this panel. So I'll do that by talking a little bit about Europe. And first, just to cover the new Trump administration's impact on European banks. Obviously, I think their U.S. operations will be affected in sympathy with the rest of the U.S. banks, just as the rest of the panelists mentioned. I don't think the European operations of European banks will be impacted to a great degree. In fact, I think the bigger problem facing European banks from a regulatory perspective coming out of the U.S. are the fines that have been lobbed over from the SEC over the last few years. More broadly on Europe, I think there's 3 points that one must consider when they think about investing and evaluating European financials. The first point is risk is centered on the bank balance sheets in Europe. So unlike in the US, where you have big vehicles, Fannie and Freddie, big CLO market, that hold specialized types of asset classes, all of that risk sits on the balance sheets in Europe. So it all is on the bank balance sheets. The second point to consider when you think about investing in European financials, many of the banks are undercapitalized. So Jonathan showed a slide earlier that showed how the U.S. banking industry is now roughly 10 times levered. If you were to put that chart up for the European banking industry right now, it would show 20 times leverage still. And in fact, after the crisis, both U.S. and European banks have raised about $300 billion of capital, which sounds pretty good, except when you consider that the European banking industry is more than twice as big as the US. So by that logic alone, the European banks should have to raise another 300 billion plus of capital to get them to parity with their US analogs. And in fact, the situation is actually worse. The European Banking Authority, which is one of Europe's own regulators, has come out and said they need to raise $500 billion of capital over the next several years to bring them in line. So the banks are undercapitalized. The third point to make when you think about European banks, European financial institutions, is that Europe isn't a single sovereign. So you do have a single regulator, the ECB, but you actually have 28 different individual member states. And where that becomes important is the implementation of regulation. So the policymaker, the ECB, can propose guidelines, but each individual state is responsible for implementing their own version of the legislation. So if you think about it, or you consider the European Bank Recovery and Resolution Directive. This is what's known as the BRRD in Europe. BRRD has one set of policy guidelines that's provided by the ECB and the European Commission. It has 28 different implementations across Europe. So this creates conflict because you get policy that is designed to reach a certain outcome or dictate a certain outcome, but you get individual member states that might have a bias towards a very different outcome. So this is interesting for us because it creates situations that look very similar on the surface. The inputs look the same, but the outcomes are very different. So if you consider two recent examples, Italy and Portugal. Right now, Italy is in the process of bailing out one of its banks, Monte dei Paschi. The government is going to put in 5 billion euros of capital. Now, typically under the BRRD, when governments put money into banks, bondholders suffer big losses. Now, in this case, Italy is doing everything it can to protect bondholders, and in particular, subordinate bondholders. So the reasons for this are twofold. The first is that this is reputational. Monte is a big bank. It's the third largest bank in Italy, and it's the oldest bank in the world. So it looks bad if Monte fails. The second reason is more important. It's political. The biggest, or one of the biggest holders of Monte's subordinated debt are Italian retail investors. So if the government were to step in and impose big losses on Italian retail investors, it would obviously be very politically damaging. Now, if you contrast that with Portugal, 2 years ago, Portugal, a bank in Portugal, Banco Espírito Santo, went through a similar resolution-type process, where the government invested $4 billion of capital. And at the time, they split the bank into two banks, a good bank and a bad bank. On the good bank balance sheet, they transferred most of the senior bonds in Banco Espírito Santo. So most of the senior bonds ended up at the good bank. Now, most investors assumed that this decision was final. And on the back of this decision, prices of those bonds at the good bank rallied up through par. Now, fast forward 2 years, just before 2016, in an unexpected, frankly shocking decision, the government, or the Bank of Portugal, decided to unilaterally transfer 2 billion euros of bonds from the good bank back to the bad bank. Now, the result of this was the price of these bonds traded from par down to 15 cents. So they were imposing enormous losses on senior bondholders in this case. Now, again, the reasons were largely political. So when you look at the holder base of the bonds in the good bank, these senior bonds, it was almost exclusively external, large financial institutions. So there was very little political fallout from imposing big losses on those bondholders. The second reason was part of the business plan that the Bank of Portugal put together when they resolved this bank was to sell it. So eliminating liabilities in an entity that you intend to sell should help you sell that bank. So there you have two different situations that on the surface look very similar. Government stepping in, say, bailing out a bank with investment capital. But the outcomes were very different. In one, you have Italy protecting bondholders, in particular subordinate bondholders. In Portugal,
You have the government trying to impose enormous losses on senior mortgages.
Well, to instruct the thought is that kind of sounds uninvestable, right? I'll let you
It is challenging. It is challenging. And the short answer to George's question is, we don't invest in all of these situations. We're very selective, and we do see them periodically. But this uncertainty, this unpredictability in outcomes, manifests itself in the security prices. And so you do get situations where prices fall to a level where you are getting compensated for the risk and uncertainty of the situation. So in fact, one of the bigger positions in the European portfolio in the last year was when we worked on with Jonathan and his team in one session, it's Austrian bank. And the situation was similar to what I just described. The government stepped in, invested 4 or 5 billion euros of capital, and attempted to impose very big losses on bondholders. Now, we bought paper from a French institution that was unwilling or uncomfortable with this situation, surprisingly. And we bought this debt in the mid-60s. And on the back of this purchase, we then negotiated an outcome with other bondholders and the government, and reached an outcome at 90 cents that worked for both parties. Now, I think one of the themes of this conference you've heard over and over again has been active versus passive management. This was not a passive outcome. This was an actively managed position. We were actively negotiating an outcome with the government. And in fact, we actually had to sue the Austrian government for what we felt like was a bastardization of their implementation of the BRRD in order to establish our negotiating position as credible. So we do see these. We don't invest in all of them. They are difficult. But it does require a comprehensive analysis, not just of the balance sheets that we're looking at in question, but also the stakeholders involved and the legal and regulatory oversight that impacts the situation. So we're getting close to the time where I'm supposed to wrap up here. So I'm gonna stop there with Europe, and I want to come up with some closing thoughts. So I think you heard the financial industry and the regulatory oversight of the financial industry is complicated. It's complex. It requires a great deal of know-how and expertise. And I think you heard that from the panelists. I think one point that wasn't made but sort of came through the discussion was you don't need to just have expertise and understanding of these markets and balance sheets, but you also have to have the right vehicles in place to make these investments. So if you take the CLOs, now you need to have the capital in place to have a CLO, but also one that's compliant with both regulation both in Europe and the US. And it's not a vehicle that you can raise on a dime. And in order to take advantage of the bouts of volatility that we see, you have to have that vehicle in place. I think, George, on the mortgage side, you kind of need the infrastructure and the platforms to invest in a wide variety of products. And for us, it's been RMBS and now NPLs. But you need the plumbing and the infrastructure to evaluate and hold and invest in those products. And Jonathan, I suppose it's a little less formulaic or prescriptive in the financial industry, but the areas of finance where we've been playing, where you and your team have been working, specialty finance, do require a great deal of understanding in those balance sheets, in the regulation and legislative oversight that affects those balance sheets, and then requires coordination across teams to really put capital at work in those situations. So I think with that, I'll wrap it up. We have a little bit of time for Q&A, and I've been told that I should invite Ingrid up to Rockford.
We don't have a ton of time for Q&A, but we did have a couple of questions. One was specifically regarding Brexit, so probably for you, Eric, to take it off, was whether or not we see more opportunities out of Brexit, what have we done around Brexit, and a related question to that is with all the uncertainty and the instability, or say, increasing instability in the European financial system, why has it been a relatively smaller part of our portfolio over the last year or two?
Well, maybe that's a lot of questions. And I think person asking the question sort of answered the last question, which is we have shrunk our exposure to Europe in the last 2 years, and part of the reason we have shrunk our exposure to Europe was because we saw some of this uncertainty coming. And so we have actively taken down exposure. I think for those of you that saw the chart of exposure in Caesars going up, some of that was coming from the European portfolio. The other questions you asked, Brexit. Look, Brexit hasn't happened. It was a vote that took place that called for the UK to leave the EU, but the Article 50 filing, which actually triggers the European Union, or the UK leaving the European Union, hasn't happened. Now, Theresa May wants to get it done very soon. We hear that she wants to get this done as early as by the end of, or the beginning of March. That might be ambitious, but presumably by the end of April or May. So we do anticipate some impact from Article 50 and corresponding impacts that are filtered to the UK economy. Now, as it relates to Brexit-type events that Europe is facing, I mean, there's 3 of them, really, in the next year. There's Netherlands elections, French elections, and German elections. And so I think all of those are situations that we're watching. Having said that, there is a countervailing view that we've just seen to Brexit events with President Trump's election and Brexit itself, and the markets seem to shrug them off. So there is a version of the story that plays out where Italy manages to get its banks capitalized, the Netherlands Freedom Party is sort of marginalized by virtue of not having a big enough majority to form a government. French elections happen, and Le Pen maybe gets through the first round, but doesn't get into the second round, so Macron and Fillon wins the second round. And then Germany goes with the status quo when Chancellor Merkel is re-elected. That version of the story actually looks very benign for Europe, and potentially inflationary like we've seen in the US. And we talked about bank stocks rallying post-Trump's election. We saw the same phenomenon in Europe, and the five-year inflation swaps going forward did reflect that. They went from 60 or 70 basis points to 150 basis points, but that's still well behind what the US inflation estimates are. So you could see another leg to the European kind of rally. When you look at valuations, not so much in the credit markets, but in the equity markets, valuations in Europe trail the US by 1 or 2 turns on most indices. So we're cautious. We talked a lot about preparing versus predicting. We're not predicting the outcomes. We're trying to put the portfolio in a situation where it can manage in all of those outcomes, but we're paying close attention to each one.
I think it's going to add one other question, and this is for George. With regards to buying from the NPL portfolios that we've seen on the agency balance sheet, what's the profile of the competitors? Who are we up against? Is it people that look like ourselves? Basically, profile of the competitors based on the Fed's balance sheet.
It's mostly big private equity funds, Lone Star, Bayview. There's only some other NPL only funds like Premium, people like that. But again, the NPL market buyer base is so concentrated that beyond the few players, there aren't many large ones left. And it's a place that has high barriers to entry, and it's very touched on. The amount of funding necessary to have the right structures to be able to own REOs, to be able to transfer performing loans, to be able to sell performing loans out of the portfolios is quite prohibitive to just anybody entering the market, a lot other multi-strat guys or whatnot, in the event that the space does provide opportunity. It takes months and months and a lot of lawyer dollars spent to be able to be in that position to do it. Not to mention being able to service it, due diligence and servicers, asset managers. It's a quite big undertaking. Here we're servicing loan by loan, making decisions on a loan by loan basis, where we don't have a third party doing that for us as we do on the RBS side.
Great. Well, with that, I think we're at the end of our time for this panel, and I'd like us to give everyone a round of applause today.